Hey everyone, this is Hexlex, and I'm back with yet some more Master Duel. In this case, we're going to be taking a look at some combos. Finally, it is the long-awaited combo video that I've been mentioning in, I think, just about every other Master Duel video I've made. We're going to be taking a look at how to combo with Zoodiac Tri-Brigade. The engine may look a little intimidating to people who have played against this deck on the ladder. You may see all these like tri-brigade effects activating all one after the other, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're making a Link 3 and setting up a Revolt, and then they're summoning a Drident on top of that, and what's even going on. But it's actually not that difficult once you learn some of the core combos. You can then recognize how you can branch off from there, and how some of these combos you can even mix and match depending on what your opening hand looks like. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these combos. Alright everyone, for the first combo, I'm going to start by showing you what you can do with just a Fraktall. So let's go ahead and get our Fraktall using Tenki. This does not really affect the combo at all. Tenki is just being used to search for Fraktall. If you just opened Fraktall, things would go exactly the same. So we're going to activate Fraktall's effect by discarding. And then we are going to send a Kitt to the graveyard. After sending Kitt, her effect will activate to send another Tri-Brigade to the graveyard. This time we're going to send Nervall. Nervall, when sent to the graveyard, will let us search for a Tri-Brigade monster. So we're going to go ahead and add another Fraktall to our hand. If you're just going to normal summon here, you definitely want to get Fraktall, because Fraktall has 1900 attack points, 2000 with Tenki out. So if Fraktall gets negated, it does at least have a decent body. Next, we're going to use Fraktall's effect, and even though in this example hand I already opened Tri-Brigade Revolt, I'm going to show you how to search for Revolt if you had not opened it. I'm going to banish two of the Tri-Brigade monsters here using Fraktall's effect in order to special summon our Bearbrumm. Put Bearbrumm into that zone, and then from there we can go ahead and link into Rugal by sending away Bearbrumm and Fraktall. Go ahead and put Rugal there, and now since we used Bearbrumm as a material, we can use her ability to search for a Revolt. Again, we already had one in this opening hand, but this can show you just how easy it is to guaranteed set up a Revolt. And really, this is kind of the core Tri-Brigade combo, and as you can see, all it literally requires is just Fraktall in your opening hand. You can discard Fraktall to again send Kitt, use Kitt to send Nervall, and then from Nervall's effect you can add a Tri-Brigade monster to summon and go ahead and use the Rugal. And honestly, with other combos, this doesn't even necessarily take up our normal summon to establish this board with the Rugal out and the Revolt face down. We will go into those later, but this is the first and what I would consider, again, the core Tri-Brigade combo. We're going to be using this exact combo and some slight variants of it in a lot of the future combos. Okay, so for this combo, we're going to go ahead and show you what you can make if you have Fraktall plus any other Tri-Brigade monster. In this case, we're going to use Tenki to go ahead and search our Fraktall, and then we will also have a Nervall in our hand as well, as you can see. So we're going to start by activating Fraktall's effect, and as usual, we're going to send our Kitt. Then we're going to use Kitt in order to send Nervall. Now we're going to activate Nervall's effect. And this time we're going to go ahead and get Fraktall. Even though I have two Nervall in my hand, and I could actually do a different combo, this example is just going to assume we only had one Tri-Brigade monster in our hand. Alright, we're going to go ahead and normal summon Fraktall, and now we're going to use Fraktall's ability in order to banish two cards. This time, however, instead of getting Bearbrumm, we are going to instead summon Fraktall. Farigite we want to put in this zone right here. Now we can use Farigite's effect to summon our Tri-Brigade monster, which for us again is going to be Nervall. Now from here we're going to go back into our extra deck, and now we're going to summon a Rugal. It might be tempting to go for Alopecia here, but we still need to set up our Revolt. You can see we don't have one in hand. We're going to treat Farigite as 2 materials here in order to link summon Rugal. And we're going to activate Farigite's effect. We'll draw a card, and we don't need this tanky, so we can actually just go ahead and put it back. Now we're going to activate Nervall, Nervall's ability. Banishing 2 cards, we can just go ahead and send both of these Fraktalls here. And now we can get our Bearbrumm. We'll go ahead and put Bearbrumm in this zone here. And then now we want to link away our Bearbrumm. And even though, you know, we're making a link 4 using a link 3 and 2, this is totally fine because the link 4 that we are going to make is none other than Alopecia. And we honestly, or Apelesia, I always say Alopecia, that's a disease, isn't it? Apelesia, you want to make her with 3 or 4 materials. I don't like making 2 material Apelesias. I really don't think that is sustainable. Negates, I prefer at least 3. But since we sent Bearbrumm, we're going to go ahead and get the Tri-Brigade Revolt. We can put our Nervall back. And now you can see we have a Revolt set up, and in this hand we even also have like an impermanent Ash ready as well. But so that is what you can do with just Fraktall and any Tri-Brigade monster. Alright, so here we've got an opening hand that actually does not have Fraktall for once. I'm going to show you what you're actually able to do with just Kitt and any other Tri-Brigade monster if you do not have access to Fraktall, as is the case with this hand. I'm going to start off by summoning our Kitt, and you can see since we have Salamangreat Almirage in our extra deck, we're able to link Kitt away in order to link summon our Almirage. We're going to go ahead and do that right now. This will allow us to use Kitt's effect, and even though we don't have Fraktall, we're now able to pick up where that combo leaves off, so to speak. We're going to send Nervall to our graveyard, and we're going to activate Nervall's ability. Now let's assume we actually don't have a Kairos in our hand, and we're going to add one with Nervall. Let's assume instead that Kairos is just not here. We're going to actually activate the ability of the Kairos that we searched, and we're going to send our extra Nervall to the graveyard in order to special summon Kairos in attack mode. Now we're going to activate Kairos's ability. In order to send 2 cards, we're going to go ahead and send Kitt and Nervall. And nope, we do not need to do that. And we're going to go ahead and get Bearbrumm. We'll special summon Bearbrumm to this zone. And from there, we can go ahead and link summon again. You can see now we're kind of picking up again where the Fraktall combo sort of left off. We're going to send away Kairos and Bearbrumm in order to play Tri-Brigade Rugal. And with Bearbrumm's ability, we can add our ever-faithful Revolt to our hand. As always, you're going to want to end your first turn with setting a Revolt up, as we have done so here. So, yep, even if you're not opening with Fraktall, as long as you've got Kitt plus any other Tri-Brigade monster, or really any Tri-type monster, I should rephrase that. Even if you have a Zoodiac monster, as long as you open Kitt plus any Tri-type monster, you're able to set up your Revolt as though you had a Fraktall. So similarly to Kitt plus a Tri-Brigade monster, I'm going to show you what you can do if you open with nothing more than Nervall and any Tri-type monster. We're going to go ahead and begin by normal summoning Nervall. Since Nervall has 1000 or less attack, we can use our Salamangreat Almirage, sending Nervall in order to summon our Almirage right over here. Now we're going to use Nervall's effect to add Kairos to our hand. And now we're going to activate Kairos' ability, sending our Tri-type card to the graveyard in order to special summon Kairos. And since we have 2 Tri-types in our graveyard, we can use Kairos to banish the both of them. And we can summon our Bearbrumm to the field. And from there, we can go ahead. At this point, if you wanted to, you could use Bearbrumm's ability. Like if you wanted to send, 2 of these cards. However, I generally think that Bearbrumm's first effect isn't really worth it, especially on your first turn. It's often better to just hold the cards, even if it's something like Lightning Storm that might not seem useful. Because the extra, summon is like nice, but it's not really gonna make. We're still gonna be able to set up a Revolt either way, so you're throwing away a lot of advantage using that ability. That's not to say never use it, but it's generally why I don't go for it. But yep, this part of the combo probably looks pretty familiar. We're gonna send away these 2 in order to summon our Rugal, and even though we opened Revolt, I'm just showing how you are able to set up a Revolt. Guaranteed with this setup. It's easy to see like just Nervall and in our case Whiptail or random tri-type in your hand and think like, oh, how am I supposed to combo off with this? But as long as you have Almirage in your extra deck, it is possible, as you see here. Alright everyone, so for this combo, we're going to show you what you can do with Fraktall plus any Zoodiac monster. So we're going to ignore this Nervall, and even though this is not the optimal play necessarily with this hand, we're going to use Tenki to add any random Zoodiac monster. Sure, it can even be Ram, that's fine. So let's assume that we didn't just Tenki, and we don't have this Nervall, and again that we just have Fraktall plus a Zoodiac monster. Well, we're going to go ahead and start by using Fraktall's effect. As always, we're going to go ahead and send Kitt to the graveyard. Then we're going to use Kitt's ability to go ahead and send Nervall. And let's activate Nervall's effect to add ourselves a Fraktall. Now we can normal summon our Fraktall. We're going to use Fraktall's ability in order to banish our Kitt and Nervall. And with that, we can special summon our Farigite. We're going to stick Farigite right over there. Now we're going to activate Farigite's ability in order to special summon our Zoodiac friend here. And as you can see, now that opens up our Zoodiac Xyz monsters. We're going to go ahead and stack up for a Drident here. As always, however many materials you want to put on Drident kind of depends on if you want to stack up a lot of materials now in anticipation of summoning Zeus using Drident on the next turn, or if you have, or if you want to use another Zoodiac monster later to summon a Borbo with enough materials to make a 4 material Zeus. It kind of depends on the scenario, and you can make an argument for either case. I mean, I guess in this case, I'm just going to stack up some materials on to Drident. I mean, I guess 2 materials isn't bad for Drident, but ideally you'd want at least 3 if you're going to ideally have that Drident stick around for a while. And to be fair with Ram, this will protect the Drident from targeting, and you would want this Drident to have more materials. Probably in this case I probably should have even put more on, but in any case, we're going to finish out this combo by going next into Bearbrumm using our Farigite and Fraktall. We'll go ahead and put Bearbrumm there. Now we can use Farigite's effect. I don't need to use that ability. And I guess we can go ahead and put back Nervall since we're not going to be using it for this combo anyway. Now you can see we do have a banished tri-brigade monster, so we are going to be able to activate our Bearbrumm's ability. We're going to use that to discard 2 cards. We're going to kind of assume we didn't open with Revolt in this hand just because I'm going out of my way to show you how to get Revolt. Again, obviously, were I not showing you this specific combo, we would be playing this hand much, much differently. But now that we've used Bearbrumm's effect, we're able to link Nervall and Bearbrumm away in order to summon our Rugal. And as usual, we're going to end with Rugal and triggering Bearbrumm's ability in order to add ourselves a Revolt. So this is how, with those 2 cards, you can set up the Rugal plus the Revolt plus a Drident. It does cost you a couple of cards in your hand. That is something to keep in mind with this particular combo, but it's still handy depending on the decks that you're playing against. Okay, so here I'm going to show you a slight variant of the Fraktall plus a tri-brigade plus a tri-type play, where we ended with an Aplysia with 3 materials. It's going to be a similar setup, but this time we're going to be setting up a Zoodiac play as well. Now, generally speaking, I think if you don't know what you're playing against, the 3 material Aplysia is probably better. However, there may be some situations, if you know what kind of deck you're playing against and you think Drident might be better than the negates on Aplysia, that we can set up a Drident with this specific hand as well. So we're going to start off by using our Tenki here in order to search for a Fraktall. As always, if you just open Fraktall, this is obviously no different. We're going to use Fraktall, and we're going to send Kitt. Kitt's effect in order to send Nervall. Since we already have the Karos in our hand, it doesn't particularly matter which tri-type or which tri-brigade monster we add off of Nervall. If you didn't have Karos in your hand already, you would search for Karos here, so I'm just going to search for Karos for posterity's sake. Now let's go ahead and activate Karos's ability, sending our tri-brigade monster, or a tri-type rather, in order to special summon Karos. Now we're going to use Karos's ability for 2 cards, and we're going to go ahead and send Nervall and Kitt in order to link summon our Bearbrumm. We can put her in this zone. And let's see, at this point we're going to want to go ahead and normal summon our Zoodiac monster, because if we use Bearbrumm's ability, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 tri-brigade spell trap from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. We know this ability well, but there's a clause here. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except tri-brigade monsters. So, before we link away to search for Revolt, we're going to... Oh, well, I can't see summon, so... Oh no, I can. Okay. Oh my god, that scared me. Oh my god. I thought I was about to have to scrap this part of the video, but no, okay, we're good. I was gonna say, I should be able to see summon, but, so yeah, before we link away, we're gonna go ahead and go into our Zoodiac play here. Sorry, I'm still just like, oh, that scared me a little bit. I thought I was gonna have to scrap this part of the video and start over. This was a very specific hand to get, so I kind of wasn't looking forward to doing that, but... Now, I don't often recommend going for a Zoodiac play on turn 1, and it's kind of important here to think about how many materials we want to put on this Drident. I think I mentioned this before as well, or in a later. It just depends on which order these combos I put them in. But I mentioned in another combo already that you kind of want to think about how many materials you're putting on a turn 1 Drident, because we might need to make a Bearbrumm to make Zeus later, and, you know, if we summon our Zoodiac monster... with Chakanane, Tiger Mortar into Bearbrumm attacks into Zeus, that Zeus will have 4 materials. So I think in this case we're actually just going to make just a 2 material Drident. That's fine. We'll go ahead and summon this Drident in attack mode. And now we can go ahead and link away these in order to search with Bearbrumm by summoning Rugal. Again, this is a fairly niche play, and more often than not, just going for the 3 material Aplysia is going to be the better play. However, I did want to show that this was something that you can, or that this is something you can do if you are so inclined. You can set up a Drident instead of the Aplysia, as well as the Rugal too. Alright, so this is a little bonus combo that I think I might include here at the end, where this is looking like a pretty standard just Fraktall combo, but you notice we actually opened Revolt. So since we already have Revolt in our opening hand, we can actually go for a slight variance in our Fraktall combo, which will allow us to make use of our Zoodiac Ram here. So as usual, we are going to start by discarding Fraktall to send the Kitt. Use Kitt to send Nervall. This is a lot of the reason why I say that these tri-brigade combos are not too bad, or nearly as bad as they might seem, because as you can see, a lot of it is just sending Kitt or Fraktall into Kitt into Nervall. We're going to add Fraktall with the Nervall. I'm going to summon Fraktall. Now, normally this is where I would use Fraktall's effect to search for Bearbrumm, and then link both the way in order to search for Revolt. But again, we actually already have Revolt in our opening hand, so what we can do is we can send these two, and we can get a Fraktall out. Now, you can see we have this Zoodiac Ram in our hand. We're going to use Fraktall's effect in order to special summon Ram in defense position, which now, if we go to our extra deck here, you can see actually opens up some Zoodiac plays for us. So, going first, it's a little bit tricky to figure out exactly maybe how many Xyz materials you want to commit to a Drident. I usually like at least 3 if I'm going first. We always start with Hammer Kong, because Hammer Kong is not particularly useful on his own, so he's pretty much there just to be another material. From here, I don't think we'll necessarily have any use for Tiger Mortar this game, so I'm going to make her the next material. We'll put that in defense position. So this will now give us 3 materials for our Drident, and this is actually preferable. Well, I'm actually trying to think here. I actually might not have wanted to put Tiger Mortar on. If I summon a Zoodiac later, then I would put Chakanane and then Borbo. Borbo would attack. I guess we would have Zeus. So what I'm thinking about here is potentially later in the game, right? If I wanted to use a Zoodiac to go into Borbo to potentially go into Zeus. If I actually hadn't put Tiger Mortar on, I could have potentially set up a 4 material Zeus later. The one I have set up now is only 3 materials, so that actually was a bit of a minor misplay if you're thinking about the full scope of the late game and what could potentially happen. But it's just as easy potential for this Drident to end up being Zeus as well. But yeah, as you can see, this little offshoot of the combo, since we already have Revolt and didn't have to go for Bearbrumm, allowed us to go for Drident. So now we're going to go ahead and go into Rugal by sending Fraktall and Fraktall, kind of picking up where the standard Fraktall combo would meet again. And we can use Fraktall's ability to improve our hand, probably get rid of this Lightning Storm. You know what, actually I think in this can... Well, I'm trying to think. No, in this scenario, I think I might... No, I'd still probably put Lightning Storm back, just because I do anticipate on keeping my field. And when worse comes to worse, we can normal summon Nervall and use his ability in order to start comboing off. But then we can go ahead and set our Revolt. So again, just a little bonus combo. With that hand I happen to open. One of the cases, or rather a good case I think, for 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Revolt. By opening a copy, we didn't have to go out of our way to use Bearbrumm, and as a result, we were able to get a bonus Drident out. Alright guys, so that's just going to about do it for this video here. This is obviously far from the full potential of every single combo that this deck is capable of pulling off, but I just wanted to throw out a few little basic combos, not only to help get you started on building upon those combos into more extended plays with your opening hand, but also again just to like ease us into the idea of playing a more combo-centric deck. Obviously there are other decks out there that are more combo-centric than Zoo Tri-Brigade, but this is a pretty good jumping off point, I think, into playing more combo-intensive decks. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I am currently researching other Tier 1 and maybe some even Tier 2 decks to play and showcase on the channel, because I'm having a lot of fun playing Master Duel, and the reception to the Master Duel videos seems to be fairly good, which I have nothing but gratitude to you guys for. So again, thank you so much for watching. This is Hexlex signing off. Have a good day.